What's up, nerds? How's it going? Oh, that's a huge cloud of sunscreen that just assaulted my senses. Every time in Central Florida, it is usually upper 70s, 80s by lunchtime. So when I take the pups for their lunchtime walk, I always have to lather up my tats with sunscreen because I'm not trying to have that color bleached out by the sun. So I'm going to start off this video talking about what I'm currently reading, and I am still currently working on The Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks. I fully intend to finish this book today. It finally yesterday, with about the last 400 pages, started getting good, which unfortunately I had to get 400 pages in. But be looking for that review coming later this week. I've had a lot going on that I'll talk about in a minute just to keep you updated, and so as a result I didn't get a whole lot of reading done, but I did get a little bit work done, and then I multitasked at Disney while we were in line at Hollywood Studios. I was reading my book, and it was really funny because, you know, obviously you're right on top of the person in front of you while you're in line waiting, and so I would just, you know, if I saw out of my peripheral vision the person in front of me moved up, then I would move up. And I just kept hearing people, oh, that's a great idea. That's what I should have done. So yes, if you're coming to Disney anytime in the next year or two, I 100% recommend bringing a good book to read while you're standing in line. While they do have fast pass options to cut down on line time, you can only get 3 per day, and you may still stand in line a little bit for those, but chances are you're going to be in line for an hour or two at other rides that you couldn't get fast passes for. And this way you've got something to take up the time and make it go by really fast, plus you're not draining your phone battery. I am also still reading Side Jobs by Jim Butcher. It is a collection of short stories that are companion to the novels, and what I believe I'm going to do, since the newest book is coming out in July, I think I'm going to reread all of the books leading up to and try to where it lines up to where I read the 15th book the week before the latest one comes out, so I can have it all fresh in my mind. These books are fantastic. It'll be time well spent anyway. It's been really hilarious on Twitter lately because a lot of the characters from the Dresden Files have accounts, and they've all been chatting and making really hilarious jokes. It was a really clever way to get some buzz going with the new book coming out. So I've really enjoyed it. Definitely check it out if you have a minute. Let's see, what else have I done this week? I joined the Book of the Month Club, and that is where basically you pay $14.99 a month and you get a collection of 5 books to choose from. You can pick a book, or if they don't have one in their 5 that they chose that you don't like, you can choose to defer until the next month and you can get 2. So I looked at last year I looked at their selections, and every month there was at least one book I would have chosen. Several months there were more than one. So I feel like this is a good one to try out. I may try out a couple of others just to see what I think. One that caught my attention was, I believe it was called the Owl Crate, where they send you a book and they also send you like 4 or 5 little gifts that are wrapped, and it has a page number on it. So when you get to that page number in the book, you open the little gift and it's supposed to match the story. What stopped me from choosing that one is because normally when you get little crates like that, it is cute, but it's not items that you'll actually have a use for when it's over. And I don't like that you can't choose your book. So I opted out. Other fun thing that I'm doing is I have the app on my phone. It's called Duolingo. And since we moved into Central Florida, there are a lot of Spanish speaking. They're peaking! Yay! They have reached the time of their lives where everything's fantastic. They are Spanish speaking individuals, and I would really love to be able to have a conversation with them. I would say probably 98% of the people that live in my community are Spanish speaking, and I would love to be able to speak to them in their language. Of course they know English and they greet me in English. I think it would be fun to be able to talk to them in their language as well. I've always wanted to learn a second language. I took Spanish in high school. It did not go well. Yeah, we will not talk about poor Mrs. Bergquist. She quit after her first year with us. This app is a really fun tool to help do something to keep me sharp, something that keeps me learning. I am really good at translating what I'm hearing and what the Spanish that I'm reading. The part that I have trouble with is when it comes to speaking it. It'll give you a word or a phrase that it wants you to say into the microphone, and evidently my southern accent I cannot roll the R's. The emphasis you're supposed to place where the accent marks are just don't work. At some point, the app just has pity on me, and it's like, you know what? We'll try that again later, and let's just keep moving forward. This is not sponsored by Duolingo at all, but I do highly recommend it if you want to learn another language for fun. It is a lot of fun to do. We also finally narrowed down our search for a gym and ended up joining a gym called Retro Fitness. I've never heard of it before, so it may just be something that is home here in Central Florida. We looked at several, there were a bunch around us, but they were super expensive. We come from Brandon, Mississippi, where, 2 minutes down the road, there are $10 a month, $15 a month gym memberships. What I will say that I like is the gym that we were members at in Mississippi, you literally were waiting on equipment all the time. I mean, there would be 2 to 3 people standing waiting on free weights machines, and that kind of got annoying. Here, everybody focuses on where they do they don't do CrossFit here. So that's kind of funny, but they do like HIIT classes, and that's what everybody does. They all, 20 or 30 of them are in the back of the gym doing that class. Nobody but like 5 or 6 people are on the machine, so that's fantastic. One gripe about it is the free weights like deadlift and rack and all that. That's in a caged area which you can only access if you purchase the one-on-one training, which we don't need, so we're not going to do that. So we're just making the machines work, because they did tell us they're getting a couple of racks in. So hopefully that'll be everything we need, because everything else we can do on machines just fine. But we really prefer to do deadlifts like they're meant to be done. We don't like to use the machine to do deadlifts. So I'm hoping that they get the platforms in. He said they were supposed to be getting a couple this week from another location. So we're really holding out that happens. I will say that the machines they do have are the easiest to operate and maneuver that I've ever experienced. And we've been members of lots of different kinds of gyms, and they're just easy, because my husband is really a lot taller than I am. So we're always having to readjust the machine, like as we're taking turns doing sets. And these were just so simple to move. And I also really liked the way that they do their weights. You just flip a little tab by the number of pounds you want to do. And so it always goes by the heaviest weight. So if I'm doing 50 pounds on something and Chris is doing 220, he can leave my 50 little click left over. He can leave my little 50-pound click over, little tab, and then if he hits the 220, then it's going to pick up the 220 stack, and then all he has to do when he sits down or I sit down is just flip his back. So I really liked it. We got super fortunate because I was researching online the different gyms in the area, and Retro Fitness was doing a buy one, get one. So basically we're paying for one membership and then the other one's going for free. So we're both going for $24.95 a month. So it actually ended up being cheaper than what we were paying back home, because I believe the Club for Fitness was like $15 each. So super affordable. It's maybe 5 miles down the road, which can be a little bit of a drive depending on traffic here. Got a really good start on unboxing and working on setting up our office and our loft area. So you can probably see my background changed a little bit because we got our things unpacked. So got some of my Star Wars stuff, and then you can probably see some of the Overwatch pops ahead of me and my figure prints from World of Warcraft. So finally got all of that back out and ready to roll so I can look at all my cute stuff. The loft is still a work in progress. We got our Ghostbusters posters hung, and Chris got his movie replica proton pack hung. So he doesn't have the lights and sounds going yet, but that's coming. In adult news, we filed our income taxes. Thankfully, we are just getting a little bit back. We're not paying in. Like last year, we had heart failure because we had to pay in a lot. We did a lot of research. We figured out, fine-tuned how we needed to be doing our taxes, and we got it right on the money. I just wanted to be sure that we did it right, so I had a little extra coming out of each paycheck. So basically, that's what we're getting back. If I hadn't done that, we would have been like right on the money. So that worked out well. The eyebrows waxed, so no more unibrow going on up there. We finally bit the bullet and got up at 5 a.m. on Sunday morning and went to Hollywood Studios so we could go ahead and get in line to ride the Rise of the Resistance. So that is the second ride that opened up in Galaxy's Edge, and it actually opened early December, and we were actually here for our vacation at that point, but it was just insane. People were getting up at like 4 a.m. to go get in line, and we weren't doing that. So now that we live here and we can actually, get up, go scan in, get our boarding group, kind of get a feel of when we thought it might come up, and if we needed to, we could just come back home. But fortunately, we got there about 6:30, got into the park, and got in line at Starbucks, and at 7 a.m., we both had our phones out, ready to go, and we got fortunate to get boarding pass for group 44. So we just decided, you know what, we're just gonna hang out here because they were moving them really quick. So we got some coffee at Starbucks. We went, I had fast passes that I had scored for the rock and roller coaster, and we had a good time on that one because we know where the camera is, so we were faking like we were asleep because it was so early in the day. Then we walked over and rode the Tower of Terror and had, in my personal view, the misfortune of getting on the front row because while I love this ride, it is a love-hate relationship because, so anyway, I was like covering my face for most of it, and the picture that caught me, I was trying to get my hands back up to my face because it was just scaring the daylights out of me, but it was really funny. We went by and rode Star Tours. We had not ridden it since they updated it for the new movie that had come out, so if you haven't ridden it since the new movie released, definitely go ride it. It's totally worth it. So by the time that we rode those 3 rides, we went ahead and moseyed back around the Galaxy's Edge because I just had a feeling, if we could just be near the ride when our boarding group popped up, we would get on faster. And we actually had just walked up to the entrance of the ride, and they texted us and told us our boarding group was ready to go on. So we went ahead and walked onto the ride, and this ride is definitely worth every single bit of the hype that you've heard about. I am not going to spoil it for you. I'll show you a little bit of footage that I've got of as we were walking up to it and some of it. I will tell you that the queue for this one was so masterfully done that I actually thought I was on the ride already at one point. I had no idea that that was just part of the pre-ride entertainment queue. It was insane. It was wonderful. Disney did not have any other rides like it. If you've been and you rode Flight of Passage with Avatar, that's basically a revamped Soarin'. This ride is not like any other ride at Disney, although I hear rumors that the Minnie and Mickey Railway ride is going to be like this one, but it was everything. It was It was absolutely wonderful. I will say this, in my opinion, this is definitely the best ride in Galaxy's Edge. Hands down, 100%. It is one of the best rides at Disney, in my opinion. But there have been people saying it was better than Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. They're wrong. Hagrid's, that ride is 100% the best ride in Orlando. No other theme parks. Well, I guess I should say no other theme parks that I have personally visited top Hagrid's right now. We do plan to go visit SeaWorld and Busch Gardens. I just don't think they're going to be able to top Hagrid's. I just don't. That ride is phenomenal. Again, if you haven't ridden it but you have a trip coming up, I don't want to spoil it for you. I'm so happy because I totally watched a bunch of YouTube videos about it, and I am 1000% shocked to say that every single one of them left out the best part of the ride of their video, and I'm so thankful for that, because while I would have totally still watched it had it spoiled the entire ride for me, I'm glad that they kept that part out as a total surprise. It was fantastic. I should be having the review to the Sword of Shannara coming out soon. A little running vlog for just to keep that separate in case there are those of you out there that might want to get into running with me. Make that its own separate animal, because I have a whole lot more I would like to say about it that I don't want to make this one 10 miles long. Haha. Now, if you want to help your fellow nerd out and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing. Have a great week, nerds. See you soon.